Hi everyone, these are your February 2017 horoscopes, and that's a month of love and a month of eclipses as well. We'll go in depth about it, but because it's the month of love, I want to bring you a very cheap and affordable webinar just for $19, below $20, that I'll do on the 12th of February, right after the eclipse and before February the 14th, the celebration of love. And it's gonna be on compatibility and love according to ancient method, Vedic method. We're gonna look at the soulmate chart, the 9 divisional on the Vamsha chart, and compare it to the birth chart of one person and the other. This is a technique that is very rare. I haven't seen anyone else use it, but one particular astrologer, and it's ancient one. It's given to her in Tibet, so it's amazing, guys. I personally use it a lot, and it shows whether you're soulmates, basically, because you can have sexual attraction and physical attraction with many people. Are you meant to walk the path together in this lifetime? Is there this attraction? And sometimes people can feel the attraction towards someone else, but the other one might not feel. They might feel sexually attracted to you, but might not feel the pull to spend your life with you. And we're going to be able to see whether it's both ways or one ways. It's an amazing technique. Come and join me, just $20. And then towards the end of February, on the 20-something, I think it was the 26th. Yes, on Sunday again, I'm going to do a webinar all about Neptune. Those of you who took all about Uranus, my webinar, you'll get a discount for it. And so come and join me for this one. It's been success, 6-7 hours it carries on. Leo, February 2017, and what a month it's going to be for some of you Leos, because we have a first of a few eclipses starting in Leo. There was one eclipse that actually even NASA didn't register so much as an eclipse last August, but this one is a proper lunar eclipse. It's not a full lunar eclipse, but it's kind of preumbral, whatever. It's partial, but it's still, you're gonna feel it. It's harbinging and it's bringing is starting a series of lunar eclipses and solar eclipses that will be in Leo over the next couple of years, by the way, guys. So when lunar and solar eclipses start happening in your sign, whether it's your ascendant, sun or moon sign, doesn't matter. I'm a Leo moon. This personally affects me very powerfully. But when eclipses start happening in your signs, which usually continues for a year and a half or two, there will be a series of eclipses that affect directly your sign or the sign opposite yours. This is an indication of fated events coming into your life, because eclipses are caused by the karmic nodes, Rahu and Ketu, and they basically include the two most powerful invisible objects in our sky, the sun and moon. So this is like the push from the cosmos when events have to come to fruition, or new beginnings that are fated, that have been predetermined even before you were born, that even are not so much connected to your free will. Things like death and birth, marriage and separations, new careers, and such kind of really big fated events, they're all often triggered by eclipses, to be honest. And we're starting here this powerful eclipse in lunar eclipse. It's going to be on the 10th of February. It's going to be in Leo, but I don't want you to get scared, guys, because this lunar eclipse looks amazing, at least from the point of view of Western astrologers. Because the moon will be at 22 degrees in Leo. It's full moon, obviously. When it's a lunar eclipse, it means it's full moon on steroids. The sun is exactly opposite it. So every Leo will feel it, sun, moon, or ascendant, but particularly Leos that have their moon, ascendant, or sun from around 15 to around 27-8 degrees in Leo. But it's the exact degrees 22, like my moon is a 24, eclipse happening on my moon. Wow, I mean, life-changing transformations are happening in my life as I speak. But if you happen to be, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is around those 22 degrees, you can find out from my birth chart calculator, from the planetary table details, where your what degrees your sun, moon, or ascendant are, if they happen to be in Leo. But basically, if it's your sun, it means that you're born possibly from around the 10th to around the 19th or 20th, you can be affected of August. The sun will be within orb. Your sun is within orb, basically, of the lunar eclipse. But I would say that every Leo can be affected, particularly those in the last 10 degrees of Leo, or you know, from 15 till the last till 28 in particular. Okay, so why do I like this lunar eclipse a lot? Because look, the moon, and even though it can bring life-changing events, these will be positive events. These will be events that bring something into your life, something new. First of all, this lunar eclipse is caused by Rahu. I always say eclipse is always caused by either Rahu or Ketu. And this lunar eclipse, Rahu, is the north node of the moon, which is a point of gain, which is a point of growth and a point of material manifestation. So Leos will be gaining something, will be receiving something, and it can happen up to a month before that and up to 3 months after the lunar eclipse. So maybe it's already happening in January for some of you, whether it's your sun, moon, or ascendant in Leo. Maybe for some of you might happen by the end of the spring, but usually around the period of, you know, the lunar eclipse, the weeks around it, something starts fruitioning and something will manifest in a material, tangible way in your life, Leos, and something will be given to you. You will receive something from the universe, because Rahu gives in a material way, in a physical way. And not only that, but look at the beautiful configurations the moon is part of. The moon is part of one great grand trine in fire, very supportive, by Uranus and Saturn. And this is the most harmonious shape astrologically. When planets are 120 degrees from each other, they create the equilateral triangle, which is a divine shape. It indicates the divine trinity. It indicates divine inspiration and opportunities that will come to you over the next few months, with the possibly peak in February, or in January, the month before that, and basically February, January, and March approximately. So new opportunities, because the triangle indicates opportunities, divine opportunities that come to us, and inspirations as well that are coming in. Because it's in the sign of Leo, it can be in any area of your life. You know, it can be something that, if it's your moon in Aries, in Leo, it might be in your family life, in your personal life, in something to do with maternity, with parental, with home, with property, with emotional relationships, that this eclipse will give you something as an opportunity. If it's your sun, it might be opportunity, something coming to fruition, because it's a full moon. You know, the moon regulates growth, just like it regulates the growth of plants as well. When the moon is full, it means we have maximum growth, so maximum material manifestation. So this full moon eclipse will basically can give you something in regards to I forgot my thought. In regards to, if it's your sun, it might be something in regards to something coming to fruition in regards to your career, in regards to your social status, in regards to important men in your life. If it's your, in regards to the general direction of your life, new opportunities forming up for you. But the sun usually rules career and goals in life. If it's the ascendant, generally in regards to your overall life, the direction might be changing, or something can be coming to fruition, something can be giving results in a powerful way, something fated as well. You gain something, you know, or you see the results of something in a material way. But see, first the opportunities, the grand trine, which triggers Leo, the full moon in Leo, and then the moon is part of another configuration which is called mystic rectangle, which is square, which is a rectangle. Planets are perfectly like a rectangle, a square kind of, and this is a shape of manifestation, material manifestation. We have like a triple material manifestation influence: full moon, material manifestation, moon with Rahu, material manifestation, moon part of a square, mystical rectangle, material manifestation, something tangible. So not only does the opportunity come, but the planets support you to take actions which will allow it to take root in your life, which will allow it to manifest in a material way, not just an opportunity that you miss, basically. And that, look how they all harmonize. Look at those beautiful shapes, like it's a pentagram. It's a mystical shape that's happening, divine shapes that the planets so perfectly align on this full moon, on this solar eclipse full moon, basically. So I wanted to encourage you to feel positive, you know, and something important might be happening also in regards to your relationship, because the other part of the full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse, is the sun always, the opposite part, which is in Leo's 7th house of relationships, you know. So something very important and fated can be happening in regards to your personal life and direction, and in regards to your relationships as well. And it depends, if the full moon is happening in the sign of your sun, moon, or ascendant, as I said, there can be different results. If the solar eclipse, sorry. So yeah, I wanted you to see how perfectly shaped this lunar eclipse is, how perfectly the figures are so supportive. And not only that, but Leo is a masculine sign, and look how all the important players, Uranus, Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, the Moon, even Mars and Venus are also in masculine sign for the biggest part of February. Maybe the last 10 days the energy becomes more feminine because lots of planets move into the female signs, into Pisces. But for the bigger part of February, we have most of the planets in masculine signs, and Leo as a masculine sign is strongly supported by planets in masculine signs. As you can see, they're only ascending beautiful, supportive green aspects to the moon. And one opposition from the sun, but it's kind of more creative tension basically. And I would say, like, Leos can feel empowered in some way. The light can be on them, on taking very important decisions in life. And even if you think you're taking those important key decisions in your life, which can manifest over the next 3 months after the full eclipse, the full moon lunar eclipse basically. So even if it's not exactly on the 10th of February, believe me, either in January or the months following the eclipse will be of some big importance for Leos. Okay, and getting something out of it. Then we have the next eclipse, which is going to be in Leo's 8th house, and it doesn't directly affect you so much, but it's a solar eclipse. So Leos always get affected more by solar eclipses because solar eclipse, the sun rules Leo. So Leos naturally respond to solar eclipses more. And you're having it in your 8th house, and you see, now we don't have the planets dispersed in different areas of the sky. They're kind of jumbled up together in one place. And we see this moon is here in Pisces, the sun is here in Pisces, the moon, Neptune, very mystical planets. Mercury is also in Pisces in your 8th house. And the south node, this is a solar eclipse which includes the south node. What this means is it's about releasing something and letting go of something in order to make place for something new, because solar eclipses are about new beginnings, because the sun and moon join together to create new life, fertility. You know, the sun and moon, when they're together, something dies for something new to be born. But the first few months, and a solar eclipse can be active up to 6 months after the solar eclipse and up to 2 months before the solar eclipse. So you might already be seeing those energies playing out in your life. And 8th house for Leo, it's a little bit more of a difficult house, but it's about first releasing something, because Ketu, it's about letting go. Just like Rahu is about getting something, Ketu is about letting go something. So is Neptune, so is Pisces. And 8th house can be some kind of compulsion. So on the positive level, this full eclipse can release you from some kind of compulsion, addiction, obsession, which is 8th house, is things that have more control over us than we have over them. It's our inner demons sometimes that we have to face. And the more hang up we're about something, the more we're kind of battling and grappling with it, possibly often the more intensified the battle becomes, and these things has even more control over us. But because all those planets that are part of the solar eclipse, Neptune, the south node Ketu, and the sign Pisces is about releasing, it's almost like now you'll be giving a chance, and over the next few months, to release something that has had more control over us mentally, psychologically. It's almost like something that has an inexplicable control over us. It's not logical. Something that we're obsessing over, we've been obsessing over. You, Leos, and me as a Leo moon as well. But something which is might have had more power, or has more power over us, that this eclipse can almost like unplug out of our life, or help us release the resistance towards that thing. It's not like we're fighting to stop something obsessive and addictive. It's kind of we release it subconsciously, almost like a past karma is solved, is resolved, because both Pisces is the sign of past karma, the South Node, Ketu, is past karma, and Neptune is about releasing us from past karma. And of course the solar eclipse is about something fated happening in regards to that. So I wish to many of you, Leos, if you have something that you're obsessing over, that you've been obsessing, that you've been trying to release for many years, or months or whatever, that has been having more control over you, that this eclipse can release you. On another level though, 8th house is other people's resources and finances. So there might be support that comes to you from others, whether financial, emotional, moral, and there might be the need to release certain such sources. But because it's a solar eclipse, it allows for new beginnings to build over the next 6 months. So you might have to release one source of income or support that's been coming to you, whether from the government, from parents, from a partner, whatever. But you should not feel sorry for it. The planets Ketu and Neptune are allowing you, to release more easy. You should not feel sorry about it, because the eclipse here, the sun, allows something new to enter. So you can benefit through others in different ways. So be open to releasing things that you'll be honing on, which come to you from others, whether it's emotional support, material, financial, but to open yourself and to prepare that the release of this is making place for a new financial, emotional support that comes to you from others. We like that. I do like that. And 8th house is also sometimes of sexually obsessive. Is something you might have to release some sexual attachment, for example, to make a place for a new one. But that's all. 8th house is traumas from the past. Traumas from past lifetimes, even, or from early childhood, something that has hurt us in a long time, something that we're holding on to strongly. It's the scorpionic energy, the 8th house, and there's so much spiritual energy. There might be like a spontaneous memory that comes to you over the next few months in regards to past lifetimes. There might be a spontaneous past life connection that comes to you to explain something that you've been feeling traumatized or confused about, because 8th house is the house of where we're taken to the underworld to meet our shadow side. So there might be some kind of a release of a shadow side of your personality. Usually the shadow side is caused by some trauma in the past, by something that we've even forgotten consciously. It might be past lifetimes, early childhood. There might be a big psychological release that happens, guys, and I wish it for you. 8th house is the house of transformations. If you ever want to change in a big way, this is where it can happen. And with such powerful trigger in your 8th house, this deep psychological change and that transformation and breakthrough can happen almost in an imperceptible way, because it's Pisces. It's kind of, you just wake up and you realize that you haven't been feeling in a certain way for a while, that you haven't been obsessing over something in a while. And I think such things can be, such moments can be, I don't know, empowering in the long term. Yeah, these are the moments I live for. They happen so rarely, almost in a miraculous way as well. And so yeah, release something in your life, something that you're attached to, something that you're dependent on. The universe will help you, but it will make place for something else that will be an emotional crutch, support, or financial upliftment for you over the future. Okay, so this is what we have in regards to the eclipses. Then we have another very supportive influence for Leos, both Mars and Venus in fire sign, in Aries. And you would feel much more energized and much more passionate and enthusiastic. They're in your 9th house, Leos, but it's just more optimistic overall. More fire signs support fire signs, and those two planets are very magnetic, very passionate and sexual. You can put a lot of energy, wherever Mars transit, we can put lots of energy into something connected to sorting out foreign matters of foreign nature, foreign residence, of travel. You might even travel somewhere, for example, meet foreigners, expand your, be more adventurous in your actions, be a bit more more positive, more uplifted with those two planets there. And we have also Jupiter going retrograde in your third house, Leos. When Jupiter goes retrograde every year for 4 months approximately, or 5. But for the first time in 12 years, Jupiter will be retrograde in your third house. So what can you expect over the next 5 months with Jupiter retrograde in your third house? Well, retrogradation means something coming back to you from the past. So maybe some commercial project that you started, or some administrative project, or some project with documents, with writing, with speaking, with traveling as well. Some third house rules all careers, data marketing, writing, speaking, advertising, media, commercial activities, administrative activities that can come back to you for you to work harder on, or that can require more of your efforts, because a retrograde planet slows things down a bit, requires 3 times more efforts from you, but once it starts moving direct, it gives 3 times more lasting and positive results. So even if something is slowed down in regards to such third house matters like travels, like communications, information, careers, administrative careers, documents, it's because you have to work harder on them, because you have to put more effort, you have to check more into the details of it. And because it's Jupiter doing that, Jupiter will definitely bring you a reward once it starts moving direct from June approximately 2017 onwards in regards to this third house matter. So maybe your project, some administrative tasks, some documents that you've been working on can finally start untangling and giving results. So it's more, retrograde planets, 3 times more efforts in that area. Things are slowed down, might be delayed, might have to be reviewed or done over and over, but the results is much better. Some change of plans as well. And third house also rules skills. So maybe working hard on some skill of yours, improving some skill. I remember when I had Jupiter retrograde in my third house from the ascendant, I was definitely learning astrological techniques, which I practiced for the next 5-6 months while Jupiter was retrograde, and then I started using them on clients when it started moving direct. So it's kind of perfecting some skill, perfecting some information and knowledge, working hard on that, and then reaping the benefit of that. Third house is also siblings, relatives, relationships with co-mates, workmates, even friends. It's a very social house. So maybe people, such contacts and associates can come that were possible before, or maybe they came but they didn't happen, so now they can be reconfirmed and worked and strengthened in some way while Jupiter is retrograde. They can be taken inwards more, just like when a planet moves retrograde, you integrate more into yourself and you try to inwardly understand what's happening, or to gain that knowledge inwardly. So whether it's for new skills, whether it's for relationships with people, maybe working and trying to solve some problem, or trying to improve some situation in a group with people over the next 4 or 5 months, in a team of people, with relatives, for example, or with neighbors as well, or with siblings in some way. So that's my horoscope for you, Leos. I hope you enjoyed it, and write to me how your month is going. And of course, come and join me for my love webinar. So thank you.